As a person, China's always fascinated me. As a traveler, China quite intimidated me. But recently, the first mate and I had the opportunity to add a week on to our cruise vacation in Japan with a land portion that was in Beijing and Xi'an, China. And in this video, we're going to share all the logistics that we learned along the way. Mostly it was easy, and at the end of the video, I'm going to share some of the challenges. So you want to be sure you watch it all the way to the end. But you can absolutely do this by doing it on our own. I'm guessing we saved thousands of dollars versus going with a tour company, but it did require some planning at home. So let's get to it and let's make your life a bon voyage. Hi, we're the Cruise Port Captain Crew, exploring the world one port at a time. After more than 20 years of cruising, we've learned the best port days are usually the ones we planned ourselves. Doing it on your own lets you explore deeper, save money, and truly make the most of every stop. Join us for port guides, travel tips, and cruise know-how to help you make every port day count. Check the video description for links to our favorite resources and tools that help us cruise smarter, and maybe they'll inspire your next adventure. Now on to the video. I'll start with the most serious thing, and that is immigration. With a visa, China does have very strict immigration laws, as most countries are. They do. So, this may be something that you have to plan months before your actual departure. And I'm going to show you how. What we found out quite by accident is that China has a 240-hour transit visa available for members of or citizens of 55 countries, and the United States is one of them. Most European countries are included as well. And I imagine Canada is in that mix too. Now, this is a little bit tricky because the idea is China is the midway point to a third country. So let me see if I can do it with my very fancy illustration here. So you have country A, then you go to China in the middle, and you can't stay for more than 240 hours, which is a long time, right? It's, I think, 10 days total. And then you are going on to country C. So you're visiting three countries, or at least your three countries are involved here. And when you get into China, you must show them your airline ticket or your transportation out of China and your reservation. So it is what we did, and it was quite unexpected. We didn't know you could do this, but it was even the immigration officer, he was like, "What are you doing?" He had to call a supervisor, but he was very friendly. Everyone in China was very friendly. And what we were doing is we went from Florida to Holland for a family vacation and celebration. And if those people are watching our video, please say hi. So we were at a great wedding. But then from the wedding in Holland, we went to China. And then from China, we went on to our final destination, which was Tokyo for the cruise. And we did have our Tokyo airline flight uh, boarding passes already. So that was really nice because there wasn't any extra paperwork. Now, if you don't do that, if that's not what you're going to do, the other option is you have to send in your passport to the Chinese embassy. And this, you always want to check the US State Department or your equivalent because this can change all the time. But this is one thing that may take months to figure out or get the bureaucracy of it going before you go. We have shipped our passports before to other countries. Bolivia was one where they required a visa, and it worked out fine, but you just don't know the timing of it. So you want to be sure that you give yourself plenty of time to get all that processing done so you're not waiting and really panicking for your passport to come back before you leave. We had 3 full days in Beijing, and also keep in mind we were getting over some severe jet lag because we'd come from Orlando, Holland to China within a week. So we took it fairly easy for us. So what we did our 3 days is we stayed at a Holiday Inn Express in Beijing that was near the Temple of Heaven. First day we visited the Summer Palace and the Temple of Heaven. The second day, we went to the Great Wall via a Get Your Guide tour, and I'll put a link to that in the description. Great tour. Michael was a fantastic tour guide. And day 3, we went to Tiananmen Square in the Forbidden City and visited both the Old Town and modern Beijing. And this was, it was a busy itinerary, but we didn't have a lot of time, and we did see the highlights, and we do feel that we've felt a really good sense of Beijing We'll go back someday, we're pretty sure, but this is a great introduction. The rest of the video, I will share with you the basic logistics. I'm not going to get quite into detail, but give you a highlight because things can change, but give you a starting point for when you want to do your different activities. So, something that's very different in China that we've never experienced before is how you purchase tickets is you must use your current passport. So you don't get paper tickets. They use your passport and you scan them everywhere. A little disconcerting at first, but it was it is just a part of their culture and how they do things administratively. So, like when we went to the Great Wall, we purchased our tickets on the bus with our tour guide, Michael, and they also took our passports so that they connected them to the ticket. The other thing is you may need a Chinese operator to help you buy tickets. So we used a Chinese operator to help us buy tickets for Tiananmen Square. Now, we did not need a tour guide. We could just use them to buy the tickets themselves. But that was also something different because many of the attraction sites are only in Chinese and it makes it very difficult. So you use that third party to help you get through the logistics and the language challenges. Businesses and individuals like taxi drivers use Alipay to transact with you, and it's very easy to do. You just are first going to install Alipay on your phone, and it works everywhere. Even the smallest of businesses seem to take it. It was quite unusual. So let's give you the tips on how to use it. It's critical before you leave the United States or wherever your country is to install it on your smartphone, on your device. Just like everywhere in the world, almost everybody in China had a smartphone, even the kids did, and then link it to your credit card. So, again, very similar probably to payment applications in the States or wherever you are. Now, in China, to use it, you must be on Wi Fi or data. This gets a little bit trickier, and I'm going to tell you how that works in a little bit about your phones, how to use them. The merchant will give you a QR code, and that's how you pay them, and it's going to give you the amount, and you agree to it, and everything is okay. Or they're going to ask you for your barcode, so that's like your individual identifier authorizing the transaction. And again, you get an Beijing has a population of 22.6 million. It works really so whatever well. You do to get around, was very it's going to be busy. Traffic can be very first time we had to do it. We were mopeds here at a McDonald's. But the main ways to get around, we were obviously struggling or rideshare via Alipay. It works just like Uber. She just basically took my home phone, it's all paid through, took care of it. The metro station. So again, the friendliness works like any of them outstanding. And once you get used around the world, and the cities, amazing how well stations are in English as well. So you can be sure of that. And then simply walk. Sometimes we walk just because the traffic was so bad that it was easier just to walk the extra kilometers from a time perspective. But whatever you do, expect it to be crowded, especially around rush hour. Before you go, it's important to get your phone ready to go to China because they have different restrictions and it's different parts of the world. So what I found looking at other travel vloggers and bloggers is to purchase an eSIM card. And it was relatively easy. No, it wasn't even relative. It was very easy to do. And I will put in the description the one that we used because there were several companies and we used two, and I can't think of the name right now. But you install it on your phone before you go. So that's the important part. You have to install all of this before you go to China because once you land, you can't install it. You'll just have a dead phone, and then of course you have Alipay and everything connected to it. So that would be very bad. So I cannot stress this enough. You need to purchase the eSIM card at home and install it so everything is working. And this is a challenge we had, or kind of where I messed up. It ate up data so fast between Alipay and I guess whatever apps I had on my phone. So what happened is that I didn't have it on auto renew, and my phone said I had more data left than I actually did, and I ran out of data. And we got into a pickle a time or two with taxi drivers because my phone wasn't working and they weren't getting their payment. They eventually let us go. And of course, when I got back on Wi Fi as soon as I could, I paid them and it all worked out. And that again shows you the generosity of the people, because I don't know how many taxi drivers would just let you out without paying. Um, but the easy way that I eventually figured out how to solve it was just put it on auto pay. The VPN eSIM card was less than $5 for a week, but it really depended on how much data. The other caution here is why you want to get one that has a VPN, and it's because Google and its apps are blocked in China. So if you use Gmail, uh, Google has so many different applications. If you have a VPN that you install or have it available, then your phone is going to act like it's in another country and not China, and your Google apps will still work. I can tell you that's what happened to us. So it does work, but this is important. Just don't assume that your phones are going to work like they normally do with roaming charges. And this is much cheaper than roaming charges as well. So you've got to make sure this one's done before you even leave your home. As you can imagine, being so far away from home, there were some more challenges than maybe some of the other trips that we have been on, or just some things we didn't expect. One thing we didn't expect was security was very intense. Now, when we went was just a few days after their Independence Day, or their big celebration day. That was September 3rd. So, of course, security was crazy then. But the picture of us is at the Forbidden City. It took us 2 hours to go through security. And there was really, like, anytime you went to an airport, you were almost getting like a full pat down, even though they still did all the usual x-rays and, you know, other things. So that was unexpected and quite something. The rain, we got caught in the rain once or twice because we just weren't prepared for it. And that was our bad. We were stupid because we actually had the ponchos with us and we just didn't take them. So tip there, always take your ponchos with you or your umbrellas. The language was only challenging in that nobody really spoke English unless, like, it was a young person and you happen at the Great Wall. It was the fun thing. It was like a school doing a tour, and there were young people and they were asking English speakers to read a, a poet, a passage with them. So younger people, maybe going to private school, they're learning English, but the general population, no. So Google Translate helped a little bit. Again, you had to get that eSIM card and have all of that working. But in general, it's a lot of pointing, a lot of smiling, a lot of, nodding. You get it done, but definitely a different experience. And for us, the food, because I'm sure we love Chinese food at home, but we couldn't read the menus anywhere. And we went somewhere once and we were quite burned by just pointing. So, in the tourist areas, yes, the menus will be in English as well, but we weren't staying in a real tourist area. So, yeah, we did the default and went to McDonald's. Now, we did go to a Chinese food place later, but you can always do well. But those were just our challenges, and they were very minor in the overall thing. And the big picture, it was totally worth it to add this extra week on, and in price and in logistic challenges and jet lag, to add Beijing and Xi'an at the other place we went to during the week before our trip to Tokyo. The hospitality of the Chinese people was just outstanding. Everyone was very helpful. If you looked lost, they tried to help you. Really seeing things that have been around for centuries is so humbling and so interesting. But Beijing's a very modern city as well. There's a lot of updating because of the Olympics, and just the staggering amount of people that are around you all the time is quite something. We also felt overall safe, and safe to do it on our own. We didn't feel like people were looking at us or anything. They're used to seeing foreigners, especially like in more of the business sections. So overall, it was very worth everything, and we highly recommend that you do it too. And if you need any help, just reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer your questions. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. I hope that this video has given you the courage that you can go to China on your own with a little planning and just a little of proactiveness on your part. But you can absolutely do it. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. That always helps us. And more importantly, as we are a very new channel, if you could hit that subscribe button, we would absolutely appreciate it. We are growing. This is a journey for us as well. And when we get more subscribers, we will absolutely promise to give you the best and most accurate information from our most recent cruises. So you can have a great cruise too. We're all about flexibility, trying to save money, but most importantly, having a great time. So make life a bon voyage, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. I hope that this video has given you the courage that you can go to China on your own with a little planning and just a little of proactiveness on your part. But you can absolutely do it. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. That always helps us. And more importantly, as we are a very new channel, if you could hit that subscribe button, we would absolutely appreciate it. We are growing. This is a journey for us as well. And when we get more subscribers, we will absolutely promise to give you the best and most accurate information from our most recent cruises. So you can have a great cruise too. We're all about flexibility, trying to save money, but most importantly, having a great time. So make life a bon voyage, and we'll see you next time. Bye.